Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream, Sailors Lounge, episode 5. We got a special guest, Albert from Ocean Academy, and he's actually in a part of like many other projects too of the ocean ecosystem, partly tech. So this episode, we're going to be getting into some ocean technical stuff with Albert today. No, we'll, I don't know, we might touch on some current events, but I think for right now, let's just have Albert, and if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much, Jim and Robin, for having me. Very excited. I really like the show. I have watched like the recent episodes. Very fun to watch, and also very nice, to have someone actually covering all the stuff that is happening. Because I'm involved right now in like I think 4 different community-driven projects in the ecosystem, and it's like impossible even to keep up with these 4 projects. And there are many, many more outside. And this is also, how I got into the ocean ecosystem in the very beginning. I was in Berlin actually doing a tech hackathon with a bunch of lawyers, and then they came up with a presentation by Manan, where he taught us about the possibilities to use something like computer data, which is finally released very soon. So I'm really excited about this. And yes, then I got involved with the ocean ecosystem by building up the Ocean Academy, because at the very beginning there was the documentation was okayish, but mainly for developers, and there was nothing for, let's say, data scientists. There was nothing for people that just want to have a first look into how ocean operates, what ocean actually is, what the vision behind ocean is. There were decentralized, let's call it this way, articles here and there on Medium, on Twitter, and so on that you could read from Trent and Bruce and so on. But there was nothing like one place to get it all. This is how the Ocean Academy came to life. And since then, we grew the team to, I think, right now we're 9 people or so, and that are actively contributing to the project. And there is many more to come. The very next topic that we're covering is computer data, because right now every documentation that is out there is rather technical, and also the articles that we have, like from Bruce and Trent and so on, are very good, but still they are not covering like the full spectrum of what computer data offers. And this is what we want to do next, and happy to talk about how to actually contribute to the Academy, and how to further get involved in the ocean community.
So you were the one that started Academy, or I think, right?
Yes, not alone. I was doing this with Gary and Laurent, and at this time also Emmerich. So we started this. Was actually not meant to be so big. We just thought we would do one course and that's it. But then became quite successful. And since then we also, with the launch of Ocean DAO, this was the perfect opportunity for us to be one of the projects that can demonstrate how community-driven development can actually work, and also enrich the ecosystem. And I think we so far did a very good job on this.
Yeah, I remember when the idea came up in the ambassador program. So it was kind of like, we started the idea in the ambassador program that we want to have such an academy, but then we realized, okay, this is too big of a task to do it just like as part of the ambassador program. And so it's kind of a spin-off. So I mean, the spin-offs might potentially become more and more. So like our podcast that we're sitting in right now is also basically born in the Ocean Ambassador program. So that's a thing where many projects are born. So for example, Delta DAO also kind of born by ambassadors for ambassadors. So like, I mean, in Data Union app, I also have like many ambassadors. So kind of this is the great pool to get people from. And it's also a great way to get involved into the ecosystem. So I recommend this to everyone who wants to find a place or join some projects. First, go to the ambassador program, there you will find like-minded people, and then you can, figure out your way into the ecosystem. But I also recently joined the academy, so I still have some homework to do until this week. So making some chapters, yes, for the next module. So I think that's a great way to give back to the community. You know, it's not something you will make a tremendous amount of money from or something. It's really something where you can use your knowledge and your ideas, and also the vision of what Ocean can become and what it actually is, and to present this to new people out there. And I know that, for example, now Kai and Tobias are using this as something actively. They're pitching to companies, and so that's like really, really a great entrance for everyone into the Ocean world.
Yeah, and it has actually two functions. So one is, of course, the as a door, as an entrance to enter the community, and at the same time, it's also a gateway keeper, because this way we can already filter out the people that are not really interested and just want to join because maybe want to grab some quick rewards, but are not contributing at all. And to actually join the Ocean Ambassador program, you need to finish all chapters, which can take quite a while, right? So it's 24 chapters that you need to read through and work through, but it's still done in a way that it's not exhausting. So if you really want to learn about it, then you have like a free course, so that we don't charge anything for that, and you don't have to join any program. So you can just decide for yourself if that's worth it. But you at least we can assume that all people that finish those courses, they have a minimum understanding of how Ocean operates and what the vision is, at least. And then these people can use their personal skill set to actually get involved actively in some projects that are all out there. And we are right now, I think all projects are looking for more talent because we are growing like crazy, but the talent pool is just not big enough.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
So you're in all these like community projects. I mean, like what's so right now with us, like with the whole like ambassador program, what do you think is like the biggest like obstacle into like building like these communities? Because like most of our, since we're building like these community projects or everything, and everything is kind of like decentralized where everybody's like in different places of the world, what do you think is like mostly the obstacles right now?
I think there are mainly two obstacles, at least. One of them is that actually we don't have enough developers. So I'm very struggling to find developers for projects. I had to actually, for the tech ship, for example, to recruit new developers that had nothing to do with the Ocean ecosystem, because every developer that exists in the ecosystem is already occupied by Robin or some other project.
Right.
And we just need much more, because every project that is actually created there has some technical component. They are like always needed. And another problem that I see right now is that we have two different ships for the ambassador program. So we have the outreach ship, and that focuses on doing marketing, reaching out to different projects, doing the communication. And then we have the tech ship, which mainly tries to focus on building stuff. And just recently, and this is also even new for you, Robin, we had different discussions with Frederick and so on, and also the new members of the tech ship, that we think we could become something like an incubator program. So what the tech ship actually does is we just bootstrap projects, and then we let them go and walk on their own, and we just rather try to get them started. And if we do it this way, then at least people that don't know exactly right now how to contribute, they have different opportunities, because different projects can approach us to get started, to get involved. Because I think we have great talent here and there, and they're swimming around in the ocean, but they can't really get attached to anything, because it's very messy out there. Like, to overview all the projects that exist right now is, even for someone who works full-time, very difficult, almost impossible. And that's also another project that is the Ocean Tech Ship is trying to solve that by building the Ocean Pearl, which is basically a project tracker for the ocean ecosystem. So I think this will also solve at least this obstacle of not having this overview and not knowing where to go. But then still how to attract actually developers, because other projects right now, like for example Near Protocol, if they don't build a big enough community in the next, let's say 2 to 3 years, they will die, because then Ethereum will be big enough, and nobody will use them. So they are pumping like millions of dollars in actually attracting developers. But what can we do as the Ocean community or ecosystem or even the foundation to do that? It's an open question. Maybe we can discuss here and find a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, getting the developers on board is like very difficult because, you know, like I'm recruiting developers right now, you know, so, and I know the numbers that they're asking. And if you want to attract them to do something for free, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's rather unattractive. So I mean, of course, one great pull is that Ocean itself has a very unique angle and a very technological advanced angle, in my opinion. So that's something that attracts people. And yeah, that would be one way to I would try to do it. But on the other side, also we have to make sure that the incentives are correct. So I mean that you get something out of it. So yeah, and I think we recently addressed this also with the Ocean Protocol Foundation, and yeah, I think they also recognized that this is something that has to be taken into consideration. And yeah, I hope that we can move forward in this direction. And such an incubator, I mean, to me it sounds like another version of the Shipyard, but maybe then Shipyard project and the tech ship incubator, somehow they can go hand in hand. But
yeah, I was just thinking about that too. Well, like, I mean, the tech ship could be like an incubator to like upstart these like projects that could like leeway into the Shipyard, because I mean the Shipyard would mostly need like an actual, like, you actually have something built and it's like going, but you still need that extra like oomph, you know.
Yeah, I mean, with Data Union app, we jumped into Shipyard without having anything built, and yeah, it would have been better if we had something built already. So, but I mean, yeah. So
but
I don't know.
Maybe the difference here is, Robin, that you already were in the community for quite a while, so the people knew you already. But now, if we want to attract new people, they also need like a shortcut, let's say, to actually get something like a Shipyard program. And I think the tech ship could actually provide this because, we have the expertise, and we also can already do some gatekeeper functionality like the Ocean Academy does. And also another bonus is, of course, we wouldn't build like just any project, but we will focus on building projects that are beneficial for the broader ecosystem. So we won't build a special solution that is only that could make money for a company, but rather build something like, let's say, Ocean Pearl.
So what's Ocean Pearl? Basically, besides like keeping track of like the ecosystem, are you guys going to be having, I guess, like, are these like links? I don't know. I'm just trying to imagine what Pearl would be.
Yeah, well, we are developing this in an iterative approach. So what it will be in the end, nobody knows. Because what we are trying to avoid is building some very complex web application that nobody uses. So we really need to listen to the community. And the very first pain point that we want to solve is actually how to, first of all, overview all the projects that are right now in the Ocean DAO. That are proposing and that already finished a funding round. And then the next step would be how to actually track those projects. So have they delivered? What have they delivered? When have they delivered this? And we are right now exploring possibilities that the community itself could actually do some kind of governance on this. Because if you are invested in a project, then you can... We still don't have a solution for that, but it's just like the current thoughts that we have. You could vote, for example, that did they really deliver on this deliverable, and also make it more standard that every proposal looks the same, and you don't have to read like through endless lists in a forum, which feels a little outdated nowadays. And very cool would be, of course, everybody has a wallet, right? That is at least voting for the Ocean DAO. So they could just log in with their wallet, have their account, save their favorites, and then just see, have they delivered? If yes, then you can vote for them again. If not, then we have like another tool that could actually point out that people are trying to scam maybe, or are just not as good as they promised they would be. And this is what we want to focus on right now. And then the very next steps, we have like many ideas, would be, we think it's maybe again like an entry door for many people that are not aware of the ocean ecosystem yet, so that they can just have like a broad overview of what exists and what kind of events are next. And so, for example, how do you learn about the Sailors launch? You have your Twitter account, yes, but maybe it would be also great to have like a central place where just people would see, okay, tomorrow there is a new podcast, and in 2 days there is a new call with Trent or Bruce or whatever. So this is the idea, and it's community driven again, so it's not controlled by the foundation, for example.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to have this, to decentralize the things more, like to showcase the community driven projects on a platform driven by the community. So I mean, this is a very decentralized idea in my opinion. Of course, in the beginning you will probably have your database and everything will be kind of like this, but over time, of course, this can migrate somewhere else, and then it's easier for everybody. But what I also like is the idea of accountability. I mean, I received some grants already, and yeah, I'm still doing due diligence to fulfill some of them, because certain things came up that were not possible. And I mean, right now I have no location to make a statement about that, where I'm thinking somebody can read about it, So just like also the communication from a project to the community and backwards, like creating a platform for something like this, I think is also beneficial. Like people can then a project can tell, okay, I'm delayed, but for this and this reasons, you can point it out. And then when the next Ocean DAO round comes around, then the people can also see, okay, these projects are proposing. Okay, I click one time, I see, okay, this is the status, this is how it's looking, and should I vote for them or not? I mean, of course, it will bring more honesty and responsibility to the whole process, and I really like that idea.
Yeah, so it's wild to think, because like even in the like whole I guess crypto space, there's just like so much in the ecosystem, because then you have like Ethereum ecosystem, then you have like this ecosystem, and then there's just so many like web apps and like websites and then applications that that everybody would, I guess, use or don't use, but don't even know about. So it's just I guess it's just like crazy to see that even for Ocean itself, that you have to have like these niche ecosystems. So then we have our Ocean ecosystem, and then we need somewhere to like fill that. I kind of did want to like backtrack just a bit, because I guess not like backtrack a bit, but I wanted, because like I saw you on I guess the blockchain podcast, and you did the what's it called? You did the interview with Luxo, with the Luxo. I mean, you're really involved in the, I guess, crypto space. Have you always been into like crypto, or was like the background in that?
Yeah, I was quite early in contact with Bitcoin, like in 2013. At that point, I was still studying philosophy and was mainly concerned about semiotics, so how actually does a monetary system work from language philosophy point of view. And in that regard, I was like, whoa, this technology looks super interesting from a philosophical standpoint. But I was not really convinced at this point about the technology, because it did not scale, and it still does not. So I'm still worried about Bitcoin, actually, how they will solve these problems, or if they will just become one day an application on Ethereum. And then 2016, I got back into all this crypto space, let's say, because I kind of lost track. I mean, I mined a few Bitcoins and got interested in that, but it was just not like enough yet to get fully involved, at least from my perspective. And then 2016, I was studying computer science because I want to combine these fields. So I actually had a focus on combining philosophy and computer science to learn more about artificial intelligence, because there are many philosophers that don't know anything about the tech, and all they do is actually quoting movies like Terminator and envisioning such a future. Yes, Skynet, exactly. But then at the same time, we have all these great engineers that doesn't really seem to care or don't even think about all the ethical implications. And so this was rather my focus. But in that regard, I also discovered, I don't actually know the link that happened here, but then suddenly the DAO was up there from Ethereum, and I was like, whoa, we have applications now. So something fundamentally changed. And since then, I got into the space, working mainly following this decentralized approach. I had different pseudonyms that I used to get involved in the community, help there and here with building smart contracts, setting up my node, helping others setting up a node, mining, building your first dApps and so on. And since roughly 2 or 3 years, I decided that I want to make this like my full-time career. I mean, before that I was working on this all night long, so basically it was already my full-time thing. But then I thought, okay, I need to do this like officially. And since then I'm involved in like many different projects, most of the time as how I call it, like blockchain solution architect, because I think my strength is really combining these different fields and layers. And because if you ask me what a full stack developer is nowadays, like in the Web3 space, it's not just the tech skill that you bring. It's not just, you know how to code in Solidity to write smart contracts, or you know how to actually interact with the blockchain. It's also like the implications of your actions. If you build something like a decentralized finance system, then this is not just code anymore. And you can pretend that it is, but I think you miss out a lot. And this is how I like to position my projects, and it's also my time. And therefore, I think the Ocean ecosystem is allowing me to live many of my ideas and implement them.
And so when you, I guess when you think about, building these like projects, like how you said, where now you're not just building code, now you're also building, I guess it just comes back to your, like, I guess, philosophical standpoint now that, I guess these projects now have to also think about, like, I guess the moral, like the bigger picture implications of like, what's going to happen in the future. What do you think you see now, I guess, through your like philosophical eyes, like what's different now, like of the crypto space now versus, now or back then and then versus now?
I think in the very beginning, the crypto space was very driven by idealists and people that believed in different narratives that all tried to change the world to a better place. And these people are still in, but it got much, much bigger than that. So, and unfortunately, I think the crypto space, especially Ethereum and Bitcoin right now, failed to deliver on some of these aspects. Like, for example, one narrative that was driven over and over again, and now Cardano is adopting this, is banking the unbanked. If you want to use Bitcoin or Ethereum right now, you already need quite a lot of money actually just to do a simple transaction. So this won't bank the unbanked. And also, for example, if we look at Cardano right now, they are trying to fulfill these early dreams that we have in the crypto space, so that we said, okay, we will do something different. But what Cardano, in my opinion at least, is failing to do is they are saying they want to bank the unbanked, but they don't really consider like, okay, they are developing a new language. And this language is following Haskell. Haskell is heavily used in academia, but this is not like an easy language that everybody could pick up. And there are also not the resources out there. And also the milestones and so on, they're not named after great figures in, let's say, in Africa, because how they want to position themselves. They are not actually reflecting on the culture or the history of Africa. They don't even have, like, in the founders team, people that are from there. So they're completely, again, like engineers or academia people that are trying, and I believe so fully, that they're trying to make the world a better place, but they're not giving the voice to the ones that actually need it. They just have a system in place that works very well for their vision of the world, and they think others would need this too to actually achieve something that might not be even desirable for them.
Do you think that's like the problem with like most of academia, where they kind of just close box themselves into like this echo chamber of like, okay, this is how we see the world and this is how we're going to change it, but they're kind of not in touch with, you know, the community, or just like just people that are not in that, you know, academia chamber?
I mean, I guess this is a topic on its own, but in my experience, why I also left academia, I wanted to first do my doctorate in philosophy and stay there until I learned, first of all, this is quite a lot about who do you know. So these peer-reviewed papers, it's not like, yeah, everybody looks at them, but specific people look at this, and then if the right people look at this, then you will actually get some recognition. And one problem, especially in the German intellectual society, is that it seems like the less people understand you, the better. And they don't even try to talk in a way or write in a way that everybody could understand. They rather try to use specific words and terms so that they can show that they know the full history, let's say, of philosophy and so on. And what would be much better, and I think like the English people are doing this very well, also the American philosophers are doing, the current ones are doing this very well. They talk in a way that it almost seems trivial. They are actually relatable. And to come back to your question more precisely, if we look at the people that are in tech and in academia, they have this idea, at least in Cardano's case, that they should build the best possible tech product. And maybe they even succeeded. I don't know. Like I think the documentation is not very good. But this is exactly the problem. It's very difficult for somebody to adopt this. Maybe it's super genius, but if it's difficult to adopt, then nobody will use it. And we learned from the past that it's not always the best technology or the best solution that wins. It's the one that actually gets adopted. It's the one that gets delivered first. And these properties are most of the time missed in academia because they're striving for the correct solution. They're striving for the best solution. And they are striving for the theoretical, true solution. And this is definitely something that academia should do, but maybe they should not build then blockchains.
But I mean, they have a lot of funding now to actually get their billions of dollars. But I mean, like I saw a video with their founder, and there he says that they are working with another scientific institute, which is developing a cross compiler from 6 different languages. So they want later that you can program in C++, Python, Java, whatever you want, and then cross compile to Haskell. And then you can run stuff on the blockchain. So the idealistic long-term vision is to have everybody can pick their language and can write smart contracts for Cardano. But of course, you never know when this will be done. So I'm not quite sure about when. I mean, it's a great plan, you know.
It is a brilliant plan, but why aren't they using just WebAssembly that is already working on this vision, like other blockchains are doing? So
I mean, the idea about the Haskell is that you can do formal proofs about your program, so you can formally prove that it has to be correct. I mean, I did some coursework voluntarily in Haskell because I wanted to get to know the language a bit. And yeah, I mean, it's great, but it's not so practical from my point of view. I mean, if I want to make a team with a lot of Haskell people that also can do my stuff when I have my background, it's going to be very difficult, just the reach is very, very, very low. But yeah, I hope that they succeed. I mean, why not? For me, any of these blockchains are great. I mean, if they deliver that they can really be cheap and easily usable and so on, I don't really mind. I mean, my projects, I'm rather blockchain agnostic. Ocean does the same way, so I really whatever works, whoever does it the best way, why not join them? I mean, I just think that this kind of tribalism in blockchain world, like these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. I think mostly this is just a waste of time. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all like early projects, we really don't know who's going to be the winner or the loser, or it's all just like, to me, it's all just like projects. Do you think with, I guess, pertaining to that, with Ocean, I mean, so for me, I'm just like, I'm not really into like the whole data and AI field, right? And for me to think about like Ocean, like when you say like, oh, some of these, like, I guess, projects like Cardano or like I don't know, Algorand, or like to where these are kind of like academia guys and like just I guess to big brain, big brain guys that just like are creating these things. But I don't know, it's hard for the regular person to like relate, because like for me, like, I don't know, so I work part-time at like, my local at like some fast casual like restaurant, and I work with just like everyday, regular people, and kids even, and they don't really look at like crypto, or just their mind is not on things like, oh, are we gonna bank the unbanked, or how are we gonna get money. They're literally just thinking about like, oh, I'm getting money, how can I buy this, or like what's going on in Twitter today, or like check on my Instagram. It's like just stuff like that. So how do you think like we can, like, Ocean can get to that point to be like relatable, uh you know relatable to everyday people, to where we can like have data privacy, or just stuff like that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the problem that we have, like many people in the space, when they tell you about crypto or a blockchain in particular, they first tell you how the protocol works. But when I tell you, for example, about email, I don't explain you how TCP/IP and SMTP and POP3 and so on, all the protocols behind the work. I just explain you what it actually does. And this of a mistake, in my opinion, that we do over and over, especially the ones that are so fascinated, for example, a geek like me that really likes to talk about these things, and that we forget that normal people, or let's say people that are not like into developing their own protocol, they only care for applications. And so I also think many people don't really need to know how Ocean operates. This is rather a technology that runs in the background, and people will actually care about applications. So when I tell them you could build an application like Facebook where you own your data and you can write with all your friends on all platforms, there is no boundary between them. This is something that gets excited, that gets them excited. And this also where we put, well, I guess at least, or I hope so, that where we will push as the Ocean community. Once we have like applications like, for example, Data Union app, people don't necessarily need to know that you are using Ocean protocol in the background, and you might not even use it in the future if there is a solution that fits better, or you could enhance it or whatever. I think that they don't really need to be exposed to this. So we don't need marketing to just grow our followers. We just need the right people to actually build applications on top.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Okay, you go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Robin. Well, I was just gonna say, I guess mostly it's like everybody will think of just like the application. So I know Robin is also building Swipe. So I guess if that's just like a Google Play Store thing that I can just download and then just tell people, hey, check out this app, swipe, and then you just swipe pictures, I guess.
So today I had a discussion with my mobile developers, and I mean, for me personally, the most important part about our mobile app is that you can use the mobile app without having to know anything about blockchain, And I mean, that's already a challenge. So I think I recently installed some mobile web apps on my some mobile wallets on my phone and some applications. And I mean, the first thing you have to do is you go through a lot of steps to set passwords, to write down your mnemonic phrases, your private key, whatever. And I mean, I want to skip all of this. I mean, why the user should not do this? They should be able to do something without having to care about this, And so this is going to be maybe not so easy, but for me, the application should be first. And so the blockchain technology already brings so many great advantages, I can have the people bought on with their wallet. It's like their new identity, but it does not really reveal their identity. I can connect information that they produce to them. I can send them a payment without any issues. They are fully responsible, so they can. I mean, if I want to do this now in the Web 2 world, I need to they have to make an account. They have to reveal their email address. Then if they want to make a new account, they have to make a new email. So the wallet can be easily done, a new one, so it does not matter. If I want to send them something, I need their bank account. So I mean, there we go. So now we have already so much information that I have to get from them. In the Web3 space, it's just like, okay, the plugin, MetaMask or something, that's it, go. You can go, no problems, So you can onboard people much faster. You can onboard anyone with a smartphone, So this gives a lot more power, to applications. I think that the most people did not really realize that, or that we're just not at this point yet, that people are doing it in this way. But from my point of view, I see a lot of powerful stuff there. So in the end, it does not matter from which country the person came, as long as they contribute something to our system, that's all right. I mean, I can give them their reward. The reward is the same for everyone, there's no difference where they come from. So people who have less money, they can make more to change their life than the people who have more money. So it's actually something that creates social equilibrium. That the ones that need more, that need less, they will get it quicker, and so on. So I really think that this will power a lot of great apps in the future. We are trying stuff, like in my talks with Bruce, he always says, Robin, try things, fail, find out what's good, learn something with it, and then go on. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. And yeah, that's what I'm also I encourage all the people in Ocean ecosystem to do. So I think we have so many great apps and so many great people that work on so many great ideas. I think it's just a matter of time until all of this really scales up, and then we will see. But in the end, blockchain technology, you don't have to see it, in an app. You can. It could be like you can pay things very quickly. You can send money to your friends very quickly. Like, I mean, if you look at Polygon, for example, one transaction is 1/1000th of a cent, so it does not really matter anymore to do a transaction. So like, if this becomes the standard and people can really do powerful stuff with that, it's really cool. I mean, Facebook wants to make their own currency. In the end, nobody needs this currency, because if you use normal blockchain technology and normal currencies in another app, then it's just not needed.
So,
and regarding the private data, it's like tap my data. They also have the data set on Ocean Protocol, so they are basically actively working against people stealing your data. So they help you to get your private data out of companies. So yeah.
And if we move the discussion away from the protocols, then it's really like about, okay, what kind of problems are we trying to solve with this specific protocol, in this case, Ocean? And then it does not really matter if we are on Ethereum or Polkadot or whatever. Like, as long as this enables us to solve our problem, this is okay. This is also why it's super logical that we are expanding ourselves to next to Matic. So because right now we're suffering under this problem that the transaction fees are quite high, and people are not willing to pay this, or it's just not worth it sometimes. And we need a solution for this. And staying with Ethereum sounds like a really good idea to me right now. So Polygon actually connects all Ethereum compatible blockchains, and you don't have to take care of this. So again, this is a mistake I think many projects did in the past. Instead of letting other projects solve the scalability problems for them, they tried to build their own blockchain. They tried to create something completely new. And even Ocean did so in the beginning. They had their own blockchain. And then they realized, oh, damn, building up a bridge is quite expensive and very complicated. And also maintaining it is quite expensive. And they switched back to Ethereum. And since then, I think they profit from all tools and educational material that is out there. Because this one point that I want to add to that discussion that we just had about when we remember like the early days of the computer systems, where people for the first time had like a graphical user interface. This was a revolution back then, because it just enabled them to do what they already tried to do, to tap something like with a mouse, yes, but still this was revolutionized the second time when Apple created their touchscreen iPhones, where people could finally do what they always try to do anyway. And now I still don't know what actually will bring a revolution to blockchain apps. So what will be this killer app that we're talking about since years? Maybe it's not even like an application right now, but rather institutions like, for example, Visa, and that just decided to use Ethereum as their settlement layer. That will actually bring trust to these systems that are trustless, which is also, again, a funny, interesting fact, that the people don't trust these systems, though they are trustless. And then will it be like big companies like Facebook, or will it be that have already like 1 billion users that could just enhance their systems? Or will it be complete new startups, let's say, that bring blockchain to the masses? And what is also the field that will do this? Because I think right now, like the field that Ocean is swimming in, like the data, big data and AI, it's not really like the one that will bring mass adoption. And this is also not like something that we need to aim for. We just need to target specific companies, and these companies can target users, but we don't need necessarily mass adoption.
I think is big.
I need mass adoption.
Yeah, okay, well, for your application, yes.
Yeah. Just a few 100 million people, that's okay for me.
So I guess big data and AI is more niche into like, because the only people using like AI or like big data are just like companies, right? Just in these fields.
I mean, it's not completely true. So people are now using a lot of these filters. I mean, if I look at my wife and how she plays with TikTok, there's always everything. And I mean, okay, this might not be the most dedicated AI stuff, but if you want to change the face of a person, you can also do it without AI. But normally, it's just much easier to detect faces with neural networks. And so then if you want to change it perfectly, so it's just beneficial. And I mean, right now, I think it's a matter of progressing in the future. So I think in the future, many people will use much more AI functions. They just will not necessarily know that this is AI. So that you want to switch a face and have a funny effect or something, you don't think about AI. You just want to change something. But to make this really look authentic and good, you need something very advanced algorithm in the background. But this is not necessarily something that people see. But I see the really, really big benefit in blockchain is that you can reward people for stuff, and that people can then also own stuff that they were working on. So that's like, I mean, all of this data union, not just the one I'm working on, but all of the other ones, that people can do something, they can get some reward out of that, but they can also make decisions on how the thing that they were contributing to is being changed and controlled. So it's like a ownership economy, so that people can finally become part of the company that they work for. So normally you get your salary. Okay, you might have some stock options or something, but if you actually for all the time you're contributing, you get some kind of votes. You can vote in a new system, in a new company. You have your opinion, like because you are part of it. And somehow I think that is something that humanity can really benefit from. Like instead of having a company that profits the shareholders, that only want to maximize the profits, then the company can have a different kind of personality. Then it's a personality by the people who work for it, by its members. And I think that is something really powerful.
Do you guys think that I guess talking about all this, that everything will just become more like local than like the community, I guess like a community of people. So say you're in like in your local town, now everything can become more, I guess, more voice like locally. I just
I think you can it can become more globally, like all the people can be anywhere. They all can contribute together, but somehow you now are also connected, like you're in the same project, you're working on the same thing. So you can, if there's some, I'm waiting for the option to send a text message to somebody where I know the Ethereum address, So because I have lots of people that are liquidity providers, I would like to talk to them, So that also doesn't exist, like just a simple text messaging tool or something like this,
Well,
So,
I also think too, like, just not like having everything like global, but you also want to be in touch with like the people that are like around you too. And I don't know, I think like if maybe my part-time job, maybe if I do get up into like, well, we do have like, I guess like the managers that do get the benefits, maybe even a part of the benefits besides like health insurance or like whatever is actually having like a stake in like the company. So if you really want to be there like long term, then now you have like I guess that sharehold of the the company, or like, because I don't know, like because of like the whole like COVID thing, a lot of these like mom and pop shops have just like got died basically. And so I think maybe if these mom and pop shops had a way, maybe like a DAO or like something, or like to where they can have their employees also be a part of their local business,
or
something like
even the
that, I
customers,
guess. Yeah, or
the
even the
customers
customers
also.
too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, what we actually can do, and this is quite interesting, is that we can finally, as you mentioned, reward certain things that were not rewarded before. And this does not mean that they didn't bring any value. They did. For example, if we look at Facebook, the curating work that all the users did for Facebook, like liking something, commenting something, this is actually work that is done and that is utilized by them to power their marketing efforts and sell this actually to third parties. But now you finally have people where also projects like Ocean Protocol like enable them to do so, where they own their own data. And now you can't just monetize on their data, but you actually need to reward them somehow, that they give you access. You need to reward them that they do something for you. And it's not just like they didn't want to do, but you actually have finally the opportunity to do so. An app like Data Union app without blockchain might be maybe not impossible, but definitely not possible everywhere. And you would also spend quite a lot of money just building up the infrastructure to actually allow such a system, because enabling global, worldwide 24/7 payment effortlessly, you would already invest a few millions just building that without even considering your core business logic.
Yeah, so it just doesn't really scale well, like if you look at the traditional stuff. So another benefit is like, these self-owned systems, they don't have to make a few billions, like Facebook is very happy to make billions a year, Google is very happy to make billions of revenue, like just the earnings in the end after they paid all the bills. So that is something that is not necessary in such a system. Like the people, they want to have their share back, but it does not have, like, if you would take the billions that the Facebook earns and contribute it to its users every year. I mean, if you can make such a company that still works, Facebook is out of the business, So that's just like a major difference, that these are like smart contracts running on a blockchain. Okay, might be some fees involved, but in the end, you save so much overhead over traditional companies. That's like incredible. So in the long run, I don't see how they could outcompete such a system. It's just unstoppable in my opinion, because like, I mean, you don't need offices, you don't need this, you don't need like a huge payroll management system. You don't need any of this. It can all be automated away. Incredible.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if they have quite brilliant people in these big companies, but if they are quick enough, rather, because they are probably smart enough, but if they're quick enough to adopt these technologies. For example, if we focus again on Ocean Protocol, what would Ocean Protocol enable? I'm envisioning already something like Spotify or Netflix enabled through something like Ocean Protocol. This, in my opinion, will happen someday. But will actually Spotify and Netflix be the one that do this, or will new companies come up and just disrupt them and make them obsolete?
I think I've seen this Bruce said this like in an AMA that these companies are they're going to get disrupted because like they don't have, I mean, that for them to like pivot into like these newer technologies is kind of like impossible for them to do because of kind of like the structure of how they make their revenue is just it's like old. So like the way they make revenue is like through ads or like marketing, I guess. And so like their structure is like super, like that's already their foundation, and you can't really if you break the foundation, you break everything. So yeah.
What you should not underestimate is something that I experienced in my job at Rolls-Royce.
Mm-hmm.
Is basically that if you want to introduce technology that makes certain tasks obsolete in a larger company, that it's not a no-brainer. I mean, like for somebody who wants to optimize the company, it's of course a no-brainer. But for the people working in the company, there are a lot of powers that then will try that these functionalities will not be adopted, because this means that people will all be out of their job, And if you think that in Facebook, how many people are probably connected to having work because they don't adopt the blockchain technology, then this is also a huge burden that such a company has, and this then requires radical moves by the higher up management, which are also then probably getting lobbied by the other people in companies. So this lobbyism, it makes it for traditional companies very, very difficult to just jump on the ship. That's not so easy.
Yeah, that's true. And I just remember a few numbers that I've read recently about the layoff of Facebook developers. It's like 40% or so get fired like every year again, because they're super competitive and they always just want people that either outperform or at least meet like the minimal requirements. And I think a company like that, it's easier for them because they have such a high fluctuation. So they have new people, new minds with fresh eyes all the time. And also an example that I would bring up is, for example, Twitter, that is trying to disrupt themselves. I mean, they're still doing this in a strange way because they're trying to build their own protocol instead of using something that is out there already. Of course, they want to have some control about this disruption. But I believe like it's more about company culture and not necessarily just about company size. Of course, the big company has more people that can do this lobby work, and it's more complicated to actually influence this. But if your company culture is, for example, like Facebook, where you fire all the people all the time, it's maybe not the best workplace, but from a competitive standpoint, it's a very good strategy to adopt new technologies.
But are they also firing the people in the payroll management? 40%.
I don't know about that, but yeah, good
You know,
question. Good question. Yeah,
I mean, developers are one side of the. It's just one part of the company. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Well, with all these layoffs, you guys should be flooded with developers, huh? Right.
but yeah, I
If
mean,
you have the money, like,
Yeah.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you can pay
True too.
$200,000 per year for one developer,
Yeah.
I think probably this year Data Union app in total will cost less with everybody than $200,000. So let's see. But I mean, like the normal projects, it's people are very enthusiastic also, and that's how it is right now. There are not the big pools of money that are directly committed to these people. So yeah. I mean, I would also be happy if Data Union app one day we have a lot of money. I would also make Ocean DAO grants sponsoring. There will be then I will sponsor some grants every month. So I don't care. Like if I want to give back at some point. That would be just very great.
A thing that we discussed in the very beginning just came to my mind because we are lacking developers. I had this brainstorm idea with Bruce where we discussed that maybe certified Ocean Protocol developer course might be something that is useful right now, and this is definitely something that the TechShip again could do as the next project. So we're thinking about this right now. And this might be a way for at least the people that are interested already to jump in, to give them like a straightforward path so that they don't need to think about anything. We just say, okay, here is the path, just walk it if you want to. But right now, if you want to become like an Ocean developer, we are competing against all the people that are already paying a lot of money, as we discussed in the beginning. But also we are competing against other blockchains that have excellent courses that do these kind of programs already. And Ocean does not have it yet. We have the Ocean Academy, but this is more general and more like tailored towards data scientists, but we don't have anything to actually specifically target developers. So this might be one of the next moves.
So which blockchain has such a program where you can get a certificate? Do you know of one?
Yeah, for Ethereum, for example, I mean, not by the foundation or so, but there are many projects out there that offer you something. And also, if you look at newer blockchains, Near has something like this, where they have like a mentoring program, even where the core developers help the people to onboard them. And so there are definitely projects out there that are going this path. And I think if we look at the history of Bitcoin and Ethereum, in the beginning, it was mainly developers that joined those projects. So they actually help building it up so that you have something to play around with and also something, again, to communicate. Because if it's just the idea, this is good, but nowadays not good enough. There are thousands of visions and ideas out there. We need applications, in my opinion.
So, I guess you guys would be building basically like because I know I was looking at like coding boot camps to like I guess like learn about like coding and stuff like that. So I guess that would be like something good for like Ocean if they had their own coding boot camp, because then now they can just literally like incubate these new talents, and then whoever's like really like the best of the best, then boom, you can already onboard them into the Ocean ecosystem, right?
It's not necessarily that you need the best of the best.
Well,
I mean,
not even
you
the best,
need to have people that understand
what
everything is about, to understand the system. And you don't necessarily have to reinvent the code learning course. I mean, I understood Solidity after I did Crypto Zombies course, like, and that's there you create your own card game, like on the blockchain. So it's very playful, but very, I mean, in this way also very successful in keeping you engaged. And I mean, I think giving people a certificate that they are now really mastered many different topics and that they are Ocean certified, that would be interesting. Yes, I know about one university. I think they are in Malta. They have like now a master's about blockchain technology. So, but it's also fully online. But they are kind of asking, I think, for 7,000 euros or something to do the certificate and stuff like this. So if the development of the courses would already be subsidized by the Ocean Protocol Foundation, then I mean, a free course that also gives you insights into all of this, it's a great certificate to have, and especially for young people that want to start out. And I mean, they might not necessarily be the ones who have the largest experience or are the best or something, but what they have and what is really, really, really valuable is motivation and enthusiasm. You know, like if I look, for example, at my data union app team, like some of them are really fresh from university or still in university, but the amount of enthusiasm and motivation, I mean, I can't, I mean, maybe I was like this when I was younger, but I'm really always surprised how much time they and effort they spend, and that's something you can't really make up with many other things. So yeah, I'm really, really thankful for that, and that would be like the thing to do, in my opinion. Go where the new people come from, you know, like go to the universities, go to the schools, and make something that is really also good for these people, you know. If you know the old school people, they have a lot of prejudice, and the youngsters are really unprejudiced, so they are open for new technologies and new things. So yeah.
Well, I think I just had I had a thought from this brainstorm, like maybe I could like start like a coding boot camp here. Like I guess, you know, one of those like meetup things, but I'd probably have to find like a mentor or something, but it could just be like a coding boot camp, but then it's Ocean sponsored, and then it's you know, I guess something like that. But yeah, or were you gonna say something wrong?
Jim, can you code already?
No, I can't code at all. I'm not a
You
coder,
see-
but I would probably find, I mean, I'm starting to get more capital. So it's like I have this capital. I just need to know I want to know, like, I'm just strategizing where to put it. And maybe if I can find someone that already knows how to code and stuff like that, then I could probably just hire them and then have them be a teacher. And then we can create a course and then boom, there's basically a coding boot camp here locally. You know?
I mean, if this becomes a project, then you could be already involved on the Ocean side, you know, to make this happen. And then you, as a non-coder, can tell the coders how stuff should be done to be appealing, you know, for non-coders. I mean, that's one of the biggest challenge in an educational project, you know, how to make it that it's not for you, but for the other people, you know. That's always very difficult for developers, you know, because they have like their glasses on, and that the code, and you can't, I mean, at some point you lose touch, you know. You can't really relate to the end user anymore.
So it's like a language. Well, like is it I don't know, I've never coded in my life before, so is it like a language when you talk about like it has to be like for the other people too? So when you code, does it have to also translate into someone else's language?
Just the way you present it, you know. And
exactly.
Also the way,
yeah. And this is definitely a problem that we have, like at least if you learn computer science in Germany in the university, the soft skills are taught, but this is just like one module and nothing else. So you don't really learn to communicate your ideas. You write for a technical audience that already knows how to program, but you never learn like how to communicate these ideas in a way that, for example, somebody who never coded, or even somebody else in your team that is not a coder, how to communicate this. This is something that is asked by the universities to learn during work. So you learn this practically. But I think I rarely read good texts that are written by developers. And it's very rare, and the ones that I know, like I think they're genius, and that they can express these ideas in an easy way. And yeah, I think it's simply, again, a matter of education. I don't think that they lack the skills to do so, but yeah, most of the time they don't have to, and therefore they never practice.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, I'll probably play I'll play around with the idea, and then I also kind of really want to start that up. Just one question.
Sorry, Jim, where are you located?
U.S., California.
Okay. Okay, too far away from me.
Yeah, I'm far away from everybody. It seems like.
No, but I think that in the end, the community will grow over time. So
Yeah.
I mean, if the thing that's if the applications come that are built on Ocean, then I think also over time they will kind of lead to cross pollination. You know, you have the people that onboard because of some application. Let's pick, for example, Data Union app. I mean, we will also put the logo somewhere. You know, and then you will
Shameless
see.
plug.
Okay, sorry, but
No, you're good.
anyways, like the idea is then to you know, if the word of mouth gets out, you know, that people are talking about it, then suddenly, you know, people will realize, okay, this is the idea behind it. And I mean, if you give such an application that is built on top of the protocol and uses it to somebody that is technically skilled, then they will probably understand what is the benefit, you know. So then you don't have to do so much convincing anymore. If they then like it, then they will come. But right now, it's just a very, very tiny bubble, you know, like in blockchain is very tiny, and the whole technology world there, it's just difficult to reach out, you know. I mean, we're trying our best, for example, by making podcasts, but in the end, yeah, it's not so easy.
Is Ocean Academy gonna have data sets? I mean, is there like what data sets could come from Ocean Academy, I guess?
Possibility. We haven't discussed this yet, but actually, interesting idea. We should bring it up in our weekly tomorrow.
Yeah, I think for those maybe just give some background about Academy, because I mean, for the people that don't really join our town hall, I guess Academy has been doing like super great. We just had the Binance was it Learn and Earn thing, and that was like really popular, and it just really like set off. So I mean, how's basically how's Academy doing? What's the progress?
I'm looking the numbers up right now, so I can tell you the live numbers. But what I can definitely tell you, like the Binance campaign definitely helped, like with the attention. So we even had to scale our infrastructure to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And we had like during the campaign something like 30,000 users a day or so. So this was a week, sorry, not a day. So this was very, very amazing to see. But it's not like this was all valuable traffic. So sometimes it's not just the pure numbers that really matter. We got a lot of people that actually finished the whole academy. So I think we issued like right now more than 8,000 certificates. This means they finished 24 chapters, and this was not a requirement actually by Binance. I think some thought that it is a requirement, so they did it. But definitely there are also people in there that just got interested by the topic. And right now, if we look for today, it's something like 200 users or so, and this is how we usually see the people moving around in the academy. There is at any point in time like at least 1 or 2 users out there, and we also don't think like this will grow much more than this, and this is completely fine. We think the people that already use the academy, they will come back once the course is out there new, but this will probably not be something that at least not in this style how we have it right now, will be like the app that leads to mass adoption, let's call it this way, because we are really we have a specific requirement with the academy, and this is educating people and as I said, being a gatekeeper for people joining the ambassador program. And so again, we don't need like the biggest numbers to achieve with this. Otherwise, we could also position ourselves with paid courses. We could do like the developer or the certified developer course through the Ocean Academy. Maybe we even do this. We still don't know. Like it's an independent project in the end. And that's the beauty of it, that the OPF is actually supporting all of this. So we don't need to. We are not just an enhancement of the protocol foundation, but actually, something on our own. And but the numbers right now, I don't really think like they are not business numbers, let's call them, but they are valuable because they brought new people to the Ocean ecosystem that they are now building other applications. And measuring this value is quite difficult because correlating this data is not so easy.
So out of those users, that how many have like onboarded as ambassadors?
I don't have the exact numbers. Do you have this, Robin?
But I think it was like again 80 or something. I mean, but I think in the webinar it was like 30. Webinar was like 2 weeks ago, right? So
yeah, something like that.
But I heard from Gary that they now have so many applications that they have to spend a lot of time to onboard the people. So we have this process, like as Albert said, it's like to guard also the program from bringing in people that just want to somehow make a quick buck. So the idea is to bring people on that are also like from have the same motivation, so that they fit us in the culture. And the culture is that you help grow the ecosystem, and that you're not necessarily only about pumping the price or something like this. So a lot of people that are mostly interested in pushing the price up, they're not in the ambassador program, So you have to also dox yourself. You have to give out your real name. You have to give out where you live, and you have to sign a pledge about what information you share, what you don't share, and so on. So I mean, it has a level of quality, in my opinion. So
we are mainly interested just one point here in building value, and then the price follows. But it's really building value that we're focused on.
So with the academy, you said people have started building applications. What applications have you seen come out of academy that is now being built?
I don't know if I could say out of academy because this is like a big claim, but
I mean, data DAO is 100%
exactly
because of the academy.
So. For example, Delta DAO is like one of the companies that are that we are founding right now. That is definitely heavily influenced, at least, or even enabled through the academy. And I think many other applications, they are maybe even inspired, but everybody needs to go through the academy to join the ambassador program. So it has some influence on the context, at least the initial context of people that are there. And also when I recruit new people, I always know, I screen them properly, but still in the end, I know they need to read through 24 chapters. So they can't just join and then I need to worry, did they really read this? It's really like increasing the quality of the people that are in the ambassador program, and then I can at least assume a minimum standard when I work with those people.
Okay, interesting. So we'll probably get to we're coming up, I guess, the last minutes. I do have like a meeting to get to, but I just wanted to know, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. I want to see what your thoughts are, and I guess with the whole I don't know. I guess where we're at right now with Ocean, we just hit the 750 mil market cap. We've had new, partnerships. A bunch of applications. I mean, Delta DAO is now we're having just a bunch of new projects develop out of the ecosystem. What do you think of being in the ecosystem? What's your thoughts? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think if I would look from the outside into all of this, I would feel like, whoa, they're doing something completely new, and they're right now having almost like a pivoting point with launching computer data and so on. And I think also like the outside view, this might be considered true, but working on this from the inside, I still think there are a lot of problems that we still need to solve. Not because they're too challenging, but rather because we did not have we don't have the resources to solve them quicker. So they will be solved like in the near future. I'm quite sure about this. But there is still many things that we need to build, and this is, in my opinion, a good thing, because it's rather easy to find people to get them engaged with the Ocean Protocol if we just show them, hey, you can be one of the first that actually builds this, and that. And the Ocean DAO, for example, right now, we just have the system like 3 or 4 months. So it's still all the super fresh. And just
4
after
months, yes.
4 months, yeah. So after just 4 months, so many new applications already got created or are in the making. And this will be, at some point, it will be mature, let's say. And I think for specific applications, the tech stack is ready. But it's still like there are many things that we can't cover yet. And we will just keep working on this. So we just need more people who want to speed up, but nothing too major that blocks us.
Yeah, what are these problems do you think that we need to solve?
So one problem that, for example, the TechShip is trying to solve is this overview of all the ecosystem, so that you can actually keep track with all of this and not start to build things twice in the worst case. Right now, I don't think it's happening, but it could definitely happen in the long run. Another problem that we see is also when computer data comes up, it's still not ready for the very heavy stuff. So it will be ready for the rather first applications, but it's not like that every company could just use it. We still need experience, and still some things are missing, as far as I understood the OPF. And these things are on the roadmap, so we are aware of those. And also other things that are missing, in my opinion. We are working on these applications, like, for example, the Data Union app, but we still don't have like one app to show to the outside world that uses Ocean Protocol and point to this, hey, look, this has reached mass adoption, or it's making considerable revenue. And that is not the OPF. And this is one of the next milestones that we need to reach.
I mean, we have the first people now committing kind of more full-time-ish to the ecosystem, so that are now quitting their jobs and are like moving in to position themselves to work full-time in the Ocean ecosystem. I think that's already a big step. So this shows that the ecosystem has matured so far. But yeah, I mean, regarding the computer data, there's still a lot of experience to be gained. Like if you really want to implement it and use it in the way that the foundation has now developed this, or like how they're seeing it, I think there's still some improvements that have to be done. But I mean, I've been talking to the OPF already, and they said, yeah, if you want to build this, and we realize, okay, this is a major step forward, they're going to give grants for that. Like you can just get some extra funding, and they want to, they don't have the apps in front of them. They are not building them. They build the protocol, and then the apps will come, and the apps will say, yeah, but here, if this is not like this, why I can't use it? Okay, then we make a proposal, work on it. If you guys figure it out, of course, make it open source. Everyone can benefit from that. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild just knowing that. I mean, Ocean just started like 4 or 5 months ago. I mean, Ocean really didn't really like become, I guess like an actual like functioning thing. Until I guess just last year, right? I mean, we had Ocean Market just in October, and Ocean Protocol wasn't really. I think it was just more like an idea. Not like an idea, but it was still being built. Like I think it started like 2019, right? And then kind of finally had the Ocean Market V3 in like October, and then now we have like our DAO, which is only like 4 months. So I mean, we're kind of slowly we're progressing. It seems kind of fast, I guess, outside, because like you see all these partnerships and everything like that. But I mean, these partnerships don't really have like they're just partnerships, but it's just like, oh, there's nothing really built from them. There's nothing really, right? Or like,
I mean, if you look, for example, at the crypto partnerships, there you have things that are getting done right away. So with Polygon, for example, or OpenDAO. So if you look at the O dollar that is now available, it works flawlessly, so it's no problem. But like with real world adoption, of course, the struggle there is real. You need to onboard the people then to the system. So like most of the companies are not there. And that's also where some company like Delta DAO really, or like the proposals that Kai and Tobias are always doing. These are like the things that really can make a difference. And also Ocean Academy. Yeah. So basically opening up the exposure, or like Ocean Pearl, you go on the website, you see all the projects, So that's something that is now a little bit hiddenly available in the documentation of Ocean Protocol, but like showcasing this in a major way is like very important milestone for the community,
Pearl,
So that,
Pearl, I was gonna say Ocean Pearl is live. Is that working?
No,
No.
it's not live yet, but we are finalizing our MVP, which will be silently launched. So I won't tell you the date. And to just have some feedback from actually the projects themselves, what they actually want to express on this page. But that's something, since we want to develop this with the community together. Once we have like a minimal product ready, which will be by the end of the month, then we will already start to use it, and then let's say really doing marketing in 2 to 3 months, because there are still some features missing to really call it like a complete platform.
Yeah, with Data Union app, we also now silently launched our alpha. So some people already tried it, and we're getting some feedback in. But I also, as you say, you always need this and that. So it's a big challenge to finish something, but it's good to launch it and then get some feedback from the community. That's always great.
Exactly.
Have you played with OpenDAO yet, Albert?
No, I have not actually. There were so many things that I worked on. I just followed the announcements, but I had no time to actually do any meaningful work with this. So have you yet, or?
Yeah, no, I have not yet. I've just been busy. But
I did.
I think Robin, right?
Yeah. How was that, Robin?
It's all working fine, so it's good. Yeah, I have to see now. It's just very interesting. In a way to stake there, because you don't have impermanent loss, but still a good API. In the end,
are you just staking?
At the moment, I did it first because of Boson protocol. I took part in the auction. I closely missed the target price, so in the end I got back my USDT. But that's I gambled away my gas money, but that's the way it is. But then now I thought, okay, why not just stake it for some time, try it out for a little bit, and then let's see. There's now Balancer and UMA rewards, so like 2 tokens for free. So I don't know.
So you basically minted some $O for USDC, and then you participated in Boson?
I minted. I took my Ocean tokens, and I basically put them in the contract. You get then like 50% in $O. So basically you have or it's not even 50%. It's like your collateral rate is really, really low. You get a little bit, but this also means that you cannot easily be liquidated. Like right now, it's like if Ocean drops to 60 cents or something, then all the $O people will be liquidated. But you have still some hours to fix that. So that's something that you will see coming, and then you can take certain actions to not lose your tokens, and then you have those. And then I took a part of it to basically switch them to USDC, and then I took USDC and switched it to USDT, and then I took part in the Boson stuff. But then in the end, it turns out no. So I just put some back into the $O, and then I put them in the liquidity pool. So
Interesting. There's like I always saw this in like the Telegram, that there's like, OpenDAO is not really like it's like a thing like a Bancor where it's just like, oh, safe staking I guess, quote unquote, is basically just like another DeFi strategy for you to, leverage and, try out other, DeFi applications.
I mean, it's a little bit like Cream, for example, or like, I think or Compound. I think they're doing it kind of in the same way. I'm not sure. I did not use those too much, but yeah, on it's like, I mean, in a way, because it's only a 12-month contract, it also does not fulfill the idea of the stable coin, So Ocean is now actually working on a version of this on their own, which will then have really perpetual, like a long-term stable coin. But it's, I mean, now this technology is getting tested, so that there's some experience with that.
Yeah.
So I think some of the team also are trying it out because, I mean, it's very convenient. You don't risk your Ocean, and you can do with something else without having to trade it away. So you don't expose yourself to the risk of missing the big jump up. You are like still benefiting from this completely. I mean, like, Banco would be another strategy where you don't have impermanent loss, or like the Ocean marketplace, in my opinion, is also a good way to do that, because the data tokens can only be traded for Oceans. So yeah, you kind of, then of course you're exposed to the data set and the impermanent loss from that. But yeah, most data sets, they don't mint any tokens or something like this. So I think nobody did so far. So yeah, there's not so much risk.
Albert, do you have any data sets on the market? Just out of curiosity.
No, I actually have not. I followed, of course, people like Robin and Laurent and so on, and that did put their data sets out there. But I don't have any meaningful data set that I could put there. I am always thinking what I could actually collect to do so, but there is just nothing that you can expect from me in that regard.
Your philosophical articles, the stuff that you wrote.
Yes, but maybe it's not big enough for a data set on the Ocean data marketplace.
You could start the Ocean library. People can put their stuff in a data set, and then they can buy access to the library, and then they can maybe download an ebook or like audiobooks. You can have a large library. It's a large data set.
Actually,
for every item.
Yes, to have a data, like a library built with Ocean, that could be interesting for universities, like that they don't need a central system anymore that takes care of managing all these access to, let's say, online library, but that you actually just have something like tokens and that you can use, and once you burn them or spend them, they are spent, right? So you can't just cheat on this. Might be actually another application that somebody could build using Ocean.
I mean, the only problem is always the copyright thing. As soon as you show somebody the book, they can take a picture. So that's always the problem with these kind of systems. So, but in a way, if you borrow the book from the university library, there's also no way to stop you from making a copy. So
and I mean, the systems operate already in this way. If you're in the university, you already have online access to books, so you can do the same. So, but just the online access is managed now through, let's say, Ocean, and not through a centralized system. So,
and all the universities could be in the same online library. It's not like every university has to do their own thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe if somebody wants to work on this.
Who are more apps?
So this is now the time slot between 3:00 in the morning and 5:00 in the morning that you're offering right now, Albert, right?
Exactly.
This is where you usually sleep. Yeah.
Yes. So I give up sleep completely and will work on this as well.
Is that how you manage to be a part of all these communities?
Yes, in fact, I sleep not much. There are just too many exciting things out there. I'm honestly working right now on 6 different projects that are completely not related. I mean, they're all blockchain topics. So always when I learn something in one project, I can use it in another one. But they are not like they're not all happening, for example, in the Ocean ecosystem, but also in other blockchains. So the only thing that keeps me awake is, I guess, that I really believe that we are building something that is better than what we had before. And this gets me quite motivated. So I don't even consider this work. It's like, something very fun for me.
Yeah, that's very good. You're super full-time in that blockchain podcast thing that you did with the Luxo? I think you only
this is also something that we just increased actually the frequency. So we will do this twice a month. And we rather focus on big protocols, like, for example, on this Wednesday we have a show with Siliqua where we will talk about scalabilities of blockchains, and they are the very first public blockchain that actually implemented sharding back then in 2019 or even 18, I don't know precisely right now. And this is what I think what I want to do in the future is to try to use my non-deaf way of explaining things to actually talk to these very technical people. And trying to translate this into everyday English. Let's see how this goes. Maybe I'm already too deep into all of this and talk also just nonsense. But so far I got quite good feedback.
Yeah. Do you want to plug the YouTube channel, or I think it was called like Blockchain something?
Yeah, it's Blockchains. So you can just look for that.
I will link it in the YouTube version of this podcast.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, great, thanks.
So I do have to get to another meeting, but I think we'll just end it here. And then, it was a really good talk with you, Albert. We will probably have you on again, and we'll see what's up with the Ocean Pearl whenever that comes live, and then we'll play around with it, and then we'll talk about it again. But yeah.
Sounds amazing. Thank you very much for having me here, actually. Very cool show. Keep going on like this.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us. And this is like the end. So everybody out there, take care.
Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, help us grow the channel. And
Bye, everyone.
Later.